hi, Ethan. Ethan, again, is a senior this year. He approached me a couple of months ago and he said, I'd really like to play a solo on the spring concert. I said, absolutely, Ethan, happy to highlight you. So if you've never had the pleasure of hearing Ethan before or working with Ethan, he is extremely talented, both in piano and organ and percussion. So with us here, he is a pianist and a percussionist, but his primary instrument is actually organ. Following high school, he does plan to major in organ performance. I will be attending Oberlin Conservatory? As soon as I said it, I was wrong. Oberlin Conservatory, again, for organ performance. So he is just super thrilled to play at least one piece here for you on piano today. He's playing from the 8 concert preludes. And yes, I asked him before I walked out. 8 concert etudes, and he's playing one of those for you here today. Not all 8, although I'm sure they would all be wonderful. He's playing one of those for you, and then he'll tell you a little bit about it after he is finished.
Concerts later, this is crazy. I started freshman year in concert band, I think, yep, and then went ensemble the rest of my high school band stuff, and 7 solo and ensemble events later, and some wind ensemble districts and state. And I can't believe this is my last concert. It's crazy. That piece I just played was from a Soviet composer, Nikolai Kapustin, who was born in the 1930s, and his music was a great hybrid of like jazz and classical. A lot of people call him the Russian reincarnation of George Gershwin, for good reason, and this prelude is really showy, really fun. I want to thank Mrs. Turan, definitely, and all of our other music staff for everything they have been able to give me as an opportunity to be a musician here. I mean, it's great, and I'm going to miss it. Thank you.
Thank you all for attending and supporting us. This first group this evening is the 7th grade band. Our first selection is titled Inshallah. Apollo is the Greek god of music, dance, and prophecy. In Greek mythology, Apollo had a unique ability to foretell the future of man's existence on Earth. Composer Robert W. Smith states Apollo Fanfare celebrates the very best of our future through the performance of students and musicians, which give us all a sense of pride and optimism for our future.
racing the sun comes from a phrase used by solar-powered car enthusiasts to describe the act of piloting their vehicles. In 1982, a Danish-born adventurer designed and built the world's first solar-powered car. We hope you enjoy our final piece, Racing the Sun.
Our next group this evening is a middle school 8th grade band. Our first selection is titled Afterburn Relaunch by Randall Standard.
Our next song this evening features two familiar folk songs in contrasting styles. The first song is Red is the Rose, as it is known in Ireland, and the second song is Bill Sullivan's Polka.
Our final song this evening actually deals with the Cold War and fear of annihilation. Our final song this evening actually deals with the Cold War and fear of annihilation that existed during that period. The lyrics reference the threat of World War III during that time period and anxiety surrounding the global conflict. The song's title was inspired by the malfunctioning pedal and sounded like a train, and the lyrics were in and address the concerns about global unrest. We thank you all for supporting throughout our middle school band journey. Here's all the Osborne's Crazy Tree.
Welcome to our jazz band portion of our concert tonight. This is Jazzy. Give them a round of applause. We're excited to do some music here too. It's been a short jazz band season. We're going to share 4 charts with you. Feel free to dance along, feel free to clap and cheer the soloists that we have. They'll stand up when it's their turn. Clap the end. Sound good? Okay, let's do that. This is Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Hello, my name is Morgan Sellers. Our next piece is titled Old Time Rock and Roll. Soloists include Elena Krall, Elijah Frizzell, and Owen May. Old Time Rock and Roll was originally sang by Bob Seger and was created in 1979. This piece was arranged by Paul Murphy.
This amazing warm night has made us feel like spring has sprung. It makes us feel so young. This next piece was made by Dave Volpe, featuring Zion on voice. This is You Make Me Feel So Young.
Elion.
Last, and definitely not least, we'll be playing Peg. Soloists include Elijah Frizzell, Malachi Upshaw, and this piece was arranged by Mike Tamara. Enjoy the 70s Yacht Rock Jam by Steely Dan.
You know, that was hilarious. Can we get a quick round of applause for Mr. Stasko for helping us? So about that audio track, that's off of Benjamin Taylor's SoundCloud, and out of all the times that we've rehearsed with that, I don't know if we've ever heard an ad. That was very strange, so that was a fun surprise for all of us. That was probably a lot of our future seniors' favorite band memory in the making. We all witnessed that together, so that was very exciting. Okay, so again, very, very cool, lots of electronic sounds, super awesome. Our next piece here is going to be vastly different. This is actually a two-parter. This is a lyrical piece by Randall Stanridge, and this is the first part of two. We're not playing the second part today, but this is titled Where Words End. There's an ellipses there, ... and then the second part would be ... music speaks. So this is beautiful music for the sake of having beautiful music and evoking emotions just from music itself, not necessarily for any particular reason, but just for the sake of being music and being beautiful. So we worked a lot on being musical through here and playing together and truly waiting for each other to play and working as a team. So this is a beautiful piece here by Randall Stanridge entitled Where Words End. our last piece here with concert band almost needs no introduction. So even by the title, many of you, I'm sure, recognize this famous hit by Queen. So before we play the whole piece, just be warned, it is a very close arrangement, but it is not the whole song. So when we get to the point, you're like, oh, they didn't play that one point. I'm warning you now, it is not the whole song, but it is pretty close. So pop songs and rock songs and movie songs and things like that are often always the hardest. This was very challenging with different time signatures and tempos, so it's absolutely pushed us. And of course, the middle section is so fast and chaotic and fun that it is very challenging to pull off. So we're very proud of their progress here. And again, this is our last piece with concert band. This is an arrangement of Bohemian Rhapsody, arranged by Paul Merlin. portion of the concert. So this one is a fun way to start each spring. We audition to have a student conductor with the group. That person, we buy them a baton, they select a piece, and then they lead all of the rehearsals on that piece. So what you're about to hear is entirely put together by our student conductor here, so very minimal input from me. I work with our student conductor about once a week. We talk about different rehearsal strategies, things that we can do to make the music awesome, and a little bit of conducting as well. So I coach them through it, but very minimal input from me to the whole group. So this student conductor, as you can see, kind of as a sneak peek who this is, he is one outstanding young man, and he is very, very musical. Again, if you've never had the pleasure of knowing him, he is involved in every musical organization we have here, from band to choir to orchestra to theater. He's also very well-rounded in dance, and so his musical skills are just top-notch, and he is able to get the students to do what he wants and make that music come to life. So he picked such a fun piece for you, and he will tell you a little bit about it, but lots of fun special effects here coming to you in the near future. So please join me in welcoming our student conductor here for 2025, Aaron Valentine.
Hi guys, I'm Aaron, and this piece you're going to hear today is from a composer you've heard many times on the Chillicothe High School stage. Ms. Turon's already mentioned his name today. It's Randall Standridge. The piece is called Earth Dawn. And I chose this piece because, first of all, it features a lot of percussion, and I've kind of been amazed by our percussion the past 4 years. We've got a lot of them and a lot of talent there. So as you see, they're kind of set up all around the space. It's kind of a surround sound type of idea. This piece is about celebrating the earth, so there's a lot of cool, like, jungle, earthy feel to it, and we've got some cool soloists. So we've got Ella Strock on the reverb flute, we've got Chloe Jones on alto saxophone, Benton Myers on trombone, and then we have a very special voice solo by Ryan Benito. I hope you enjoy.
again, what an exciting piece and what a great job Aaron did. One more round of applause for Aaron. Our next piece, again, is by Randall Stanridge, another beautiful lyrical piece that he has. This one depicts the call of summer. It's also in remembrance as well, reflecting on those that may have been lost. There's lots of effects that are wind-like, things to depict things like wind chimes or things blowing in the wind or the wind itself. So again, very beautiful melody here by Randall Stanridge. So this is calling to summer here for us. It's just around the corner. This is Gently Blows the Summer Wind by Randall Stanridge. to talk about those first two pieces that we had. It's always very challenging in the spring as Wind Ensemble participates in district large group and then has the pleasure of participating at state large group, which we did this year, which was awesome. Quick round of applause for that. So this group in Class B was Superior at state, which was awesome. With that, that's at the end of April, so we're trying to balance trying to get ready for a spring concert and trying to get ready for that at the same time. So realistically, the spring concert stuff goes on the back burner, so I just want to make you aware that the first two pieces you heard tonight, Earth Dawn and Gently Blows a Summer Wind, were basically put together in about 3 weeks' time. So quick round of applause for that. It's pretty impressive what they're able to do and how far we can push them. So again, we're proud of them and all of their progress this year. At this time, we'd like to honor and recognize our seniors for 2025. So seniors, again, as your name is called, you can leave your instrument at your seat, and then we'll bring you down front here, we'll get you a flower, and read your future plays. Okay, our first senior here is Aaron Valentine. Aaron plays the French horn. He plans to attend Rider University and he'll be majoring in musical theater with a minor in dance. His favorite band memory is sprinting back to the bus and getting ice cream at United Dairy Farmers with Maddie Woods at the University of Dayton. Aaron Valentine. Our next senior is Alexis Gant. Alexis plays the flute and piccolo. After high school, she has enlisted in the Marine Corps. Her favorite band memory is the Chicago trip. Alexis Gant. Our next senior is Aurora Graves. Aurora plays the flute. After high school, she plans to attend Capital University and she'll be majoring in art therapy. Her favorite band memory is meeting her best friends. Aurora Graves. Our next senior is Chloe Jones. Chloe plays the alto saxophone. Her plans after high school include attending Ohio University to major in early childhood education, and she plans to work in behavior analysis. Her favorite band memory is all of the after-concert trips to Applebee's. Chloe Jones. Our next senior is Ash King. Ash plays the alto saxophone. After high school, she plans to attend Ohio University Chillicothe for pre-social work. Her favorite band memory is the trip to Chicago. Ash King. Our next senior is Danny Manasco. Danny plays the bass clarinet. After high school, she plans to attend Wright State University to get a bachelor's in nursing science. Her favorite band memory is the lunch at Bowling Green University and lunch and dinner breaks with Alexis, Benton, and AJ while they were at the honor band. Danny Manasco. Our next senior is Jackson Martin. Jackson plays percussion. His plans after high school include attending Ohio University and studying nursing. His favorite band memory is the football games with Ryan and Landon. Jackson Martin. You've already seen him tonight, but our next senior is Ethan Morris. So Ethan plays piano, percussion, horn, clarinet, and organ this year. His plans after high school include going to Oberlin Conservatory of Music to study organ and music performance. His favorite band memory is band camp piano recital and the Disney trip. Ethan Morris. Our next senior is Matthew Remlin. Matthew plays the horn. His plans after high school are to go to Miami University. He'll be majoring in engineering. His favorite band memory is wearing socks at state because he forgot his black shoes. Matthew Revling. Our next senior is Kaylee Wright. Kaylee plays the clarinet. Her plans after high school include attending Ohio University Chillicothe to major in psychology. Her favorite band memory is when she passed out on the Chicago trip. Kaylee Wright. Our next senior is Summer Sanford. Summer plays the trombone. Her plans after high school include she'll be attending Kent State for musical theater, and she'll be studying that in performance. Her favorite band memory includes dropping her phone in the bathroom toilet at state marching band finals and announcing it to the whole bathroom. Summer Sanford. Our next senior is Ella Strock. Ella plays the flute. Her plans after high school include attending Samford University and majoring in nursing. Her favorite band memory is going to the OMEA State Large Group 3 times. Ella Strock. Our last senior tonight is Zion Van Hoos. His plans after high school are to include attending the Rec W recording workshop this fall. His favorite band memory is when him and Jack ran over Landon's foot with the drum set cart. Zion Van Hoos. So again, we've got such a large and talented senior class. It sounds like full of nurses in this class, so maybe they'll be tending to us here in the next few years. We're so proud of all that they have accomplished. Both last year's class and this class are a little special to me because I had the chance to work with them when they were 5th and 6th graders. And then now, those that graduate after them, Mr. Pulse will be teaching them from that age. So they are just a little bit special to me, and they are just so awesome. I can't speak highly of them enough, and I can't wait to see what they do in their future. So let's get a round of applause for our seniors 2022. Our last piece was what we performed at State Large this year. It was part of our state set, and the piece is all about celebrating love and kindness and just sharing that with others. So it's such a beautiful, impactful piece with awesome melodies. It's by Kataj Copley. We finish our program tonight here, and our seniors, their last piece on the stage is Halcyon Hearts by Kataj Copley. Enjoy.